And hello YouTube, GSmaniamsmart here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the most recent patch, part of the competitive feature pack. The brand new map for the Heart of the Mist is in, a new PvP arena for 2v2 battles, a free-for-all arena, a brand new place for winners of the automated tournaments. Lots of cool stuff in today's video. Stick around for that. What's up guys, GSmaniamsmart here to another brand new video for Gaming with JS. Welcome back to another video, glad to have you. If you happen to be new to the channel, new to my videos, I encourage you to subscribe. Plenty of other Guild Wars 2 videos on our channel, plenty of other gaming videos on our channel as well. So if you're interested in gold guides, interested in class guides, interested in the Guild Wars 2 news, the patch notes, story recaps, summaries, all kinds of cool stuff, go and hit that subscribe button as well as that post notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the most recent videos. Alright, so I was planning to release this video yesterday, but I got caught up with a lot of things, and I'm actually glad I waited till today because there has been some extra bits of news released. So I'm able to give you guys the full scoop of everything that's been released in yesterday's patch, plus a few things today that came out from developers as well. Now there was a balance patch. I won't discuss too much on the balance patch as usual. I'll give you maybe a sentence or two about a summary of each class's balance and what was changed. But the majority of this video is going to be focusing on the PvP changes we had. PvP Season 7, I believe we're on. The next season started last week already. So if you didn't catch that, you can go and do your placement matches already. As I said in a previous video, now the divisions have changed in ratings. So it's a bit easier to get into a higher rank now because the ratings have all been lowered. So all those changes, as well as a change in the number of PvP currency that you get from each division you cross, has also been changed. So get in there and do your placement matches if you'd like to do so, because the new season has started. Just thought I'd get that out of the way since last week I didn't really make a video on that because there wasn't really much to talk about. Now some of the things we're going to discuss today have been touched on in the last video where we went a bit more in depth with the automated tournaments and whatnot. So if you're interested in extra details and also some developer comments and an interview that was done on this topic, go ahead and check out the last video I did regarding Guild Wars 2. I'll leave a card on screen right now. You can also catch that video in the description down below. And the last thing I want to say before we get into the main updates is thank you to those of you who watched yesterday's video that I uploaded on the Overwatch montage of my Reaper gameplay. Didn't think I'd get that many views, but it was a good amount. So for those of you who watched, it means a lot, and thank you for the feedback. I'm definitely going to try to make some more of those videos in the future. Now the first bit of news that we have is that the Mac OS X client, the 64-bit client, has finally been released, and you can now try it out and give feedback. This is something that ArenaNet has been working on for a long time now, and in a lot of the different AMAs that they've had, they've always given us an update telling us that it's almost done and they're working on a few more things. So it's finally out. If you are running a Mac and you are running a 64-bit, then you can try it out. Maybe you'll get better results, maybe it'll run smoother, and you can definitely get feedback in the related Reddit thread and in the related forum thread that was posted on their forums. Next up, we're going to talk about some of the balance changes. The sad part about these balance changes is that a lot of them, the majority of them, I said 95% of 90% of them are all PvP only, which isn't a bad thing considering that a lot of us have wanted more balance around PvP. Some people have felt, including myself, that only having 4 a year, 1 every quarter a year isn't good enough and we need more. So it is good that they're consistently balancing the PvP gameplay area, but the fact that we're not getting any balance changes for War vs. World or for PvE, when recently War vs. World had a big update and PvE hasn't had a balance change in a while, it's kind of questionable why they only wanted to change PvP things around and not anything else. For Elementalist though, which I think is the only class here that has something that's not PvP only, and it's a pretty big change. If you play Elementalist, then staff might become even more viable now in PvP than it used to, and it might even become more viable than it ever was already viable in PvE, because now you're able to actually have a blast finisher and a field combo within one attunement, which is the water attunement in Water 2 and Water 3. So Water 2 is Ice Spike, and it's always been thought of as a blast finisher. Now they finally implemented into it. And Geyser, which is water 3, is a healing skill. If you happen to combo those two together, you will now be doing what essentially Earth 2 was doing, where you would have to put Earth 2 down and then switch to water, put water 3 down for your heals to blast. Well, now you can do that within the same attunement. All it requires is water 2 and water 3, and this is something that was always strange why it didn't work like that, because water 2 always looked like a blast finisher. So I guess they finally did it, and now Staff is pretty powerful. Staff was always not very powerful in PvP because it was always a dangerous weapon to play. You would have to stand still a lot. So great change, but also a very big change too, that who knows how much of an impact this will have. As for Guardians, and from here on everything else is PvP only, so everything I'm going to say from here on is PvP only. For Guardians, they've tried to boost the supportive roles of Guardians. They want to make sure that people play Guardian a bit more for support. Ever since the Elementalist Auramancer came out and Tempest came out, that's been the primary support role to play in PvP, and Guardian has sort of lost that role in PvP. Well, they're trying to bring Guardian up to a support role again. They are buffing some of the skills on Staff, Mace, and their shouts. Specifically, Hold the Line will now give protection for 6 seconds instead of 4 seconds, and the Empower skill will now have a base healing, which has been increased by 100%, which is a pretty huge change. This should make Guardian a bit more viable as a support role now in PvP. People will have to see how the player base responds, obviously. As for Necro, PvP only change as well. Dark Pact has gotten a damage buff by 33%, and Vampiric Rituals protection increase from 3 seconds to 5 seconds. So it looks like buffs all around so far. Ranger, once again, PvP only. The axe skills have been increased. They're planning to make them hit harder so that it's not just purely condition damage primarily, but also base damage from power as well. So a few of the axe skills have had their damage increased by 100%, which is again a huge change as well. As for Revenant, the Jawless Legend has been buffed as well, because a lot of the other legends were a bit more better than that one was. So perhaps that one will see more play now. But once again, PvP only also. For Thief, Choking Gas has gotten buffs to increase the days duration, the interval of days, and increase the duration of poisons. And for Warrior, PvP only, Rifle and Torch have gotten some buffs, so those weapons are probably more powerful now than they were before. And yes, I know we are missing two classes, Engineer and Mesmer. They did not get any changes though to their classes, so that was interesting to say the least. Those are all the balance patches we had though. Let's go ahead and move on to the main piece of content that we got for this patch, and that is the new Heart of the Mists PvP lobby map. Now, the patch notes say it's a visual overhaul, but in reality, it's a completely new map. It's about the same size, I'd say, maybe a bit larger than the original Heart of the Mists that we had. Then again, the original Heart of the Mists that we had was very open, and there were some areas where there wasn't really much except for grass and trees. This map has a lot more in it. I think it looks really great. I love the waterfalls in it. During daytime, the map looks really nice. I feel like at nighttime, it looks a bit too dark and there's not enough lighting in it. But during the daytime, it definitely looks great. There's some waterfalls in there. There's some trees in there. It really does look like ruins. And I think it's a fitting map to the PvP playstyle. I do have a jumping puzzle in the map. It's not a very difficult jumping puzzle. I actually conveniently found a portal to one. I didn't even know where the portal went to. As soon as I went into the map, there was a portal on the ground. I pressed F on it and I automatically got to the top of the jumping puzzle. There are also llamas to collect if you run around the Heart of the Mists map. There are llamas that you can collect. There's a free-for-all arena now, which is pretty crazy because there can fit a ton of people in there. The first day that the PvP map was released, I saw at least 15, 20 people in there fighting each other. It was pretty crazy. It was also nice that they added a little spectator arena, so you could actually just stand above the fighting and watch how the fighting unravels. That was pretty cool. And it seems like anybody can just enter the area. There's no sort of like queue going on. There's no sort of activation or some type of button you have to press. You just walk through a portal and you're able to go into it, and I'm guessing 30-40 people can fit in there and you can have a huge battle. But so far it's been great for testing builds. I haven't been in there too much because I kind of just got destroyed when I went in there. But if you're looking to test builds out, that's a great place to do it, especially with the fact that there's so many people there. Even your AoE stuff could hit pretty hard on a lot of those people. So that's a bit of fun while you're waiting for your queues to start or your tournaments to start. So I'm glad they added that. The training area in the map has also been really well improved. The trebuchets have all been moved to one location. There are a lot more areas now where you can test your skills out on golems. All the golems that we had previously are still there. But what I'm really impressed about is the NPCs that you can fight. Originally, these NPCs had their own little square in the old map. But now they changed it that the NPCs still have their own little area, but in some places you can fight 3-4 NPCs at the same time. So if you wanted to fight a Necro and a Guardian and a Ranger, those class NPCs, and if they're standing near each other, you can actually bring them all together and fight them all at once, and they're relatively close enough to each other that they'll all attack you. So you could pull off some 1v3s or 1v4s, and they're not too easy to kill. I felt like the old ones were a bit easier to kill. Maybe it's just because I fought 3 of them at once and I died fairly quickly. But if you wanted to test out your tanking, if you wanted to test out your skills versus 2 or 3 NPCs, you can now do that as well. So that was a pretty cool change too. As far as the services go in the new map, it seems like everything is still the same. The laurel vendor is still there for everyone to use. The bank, the trading post, the merchants, everything is still there for everyone to use. But what I'm really surprised about is that the Champions Rest area, which is the area that you can only get into if you happen to win the, you happen to be in the top 50 or top 60 winners in the monthly tournament, you can get some passes for that. Or it might only be the top 20, I can't remember exactly. I have to look at the rewards again for the tournament, but it's only a select amount of people. In this special area that's closed off behind a ticket, all the services are available, even the guild bank. You have the banker there, the guild bank, the trading post, all the crafting stations, the laurel vendor, every merchant you can pretty much think of, I think, from what I've seen by hovering my mouse over the map and the icons. All the merchants are there, so this is definitely the best place to go to now if you need to sell things or craft things or go to your bank or have everything there. Everything is there, and I was surprised that they added the guild hall bank there too, because usually that isn't there. So great change and definitely a great incentive for people to try and win those tournaments. But there are even better incentives, which we'll talk about in just a second. They also added new daily achievements, and they also removed daily achievements for PvP. Now they did remove the profession specific achievements for PvP, and why they removed them, I'm not really sure. To be quite honest with you, the only reason why I ever started playing Necromancer in PvP, and the only reason why I ever started playing Guardian in PvP was because of those achievements, was because of those dailies, and partially because of the legendary backpack that you can get, but primarily it was because of the dailies. If those dailies would never have existed, I probably would have never played Guardian or Necromancer in PvP. So I do feel like removing those dailies now is kind of a disservice to newer players who only want to play one class. It doesn't encourage people to play the other classes in PvP. So I'm not really sure why they decided to do that. They did add new daily achievements. One of them is just a general match win. If you win a match with any profession, that's a daily achievement. They also added a tournament achievement. If you participate in any tournament, then you will also get a daily achievement for that. And they've also changed the icon of the PvP potion, and I believe that was because another item had the same icon. Plus, the World vs. World potion always looked a bit better than the PvP potion, so now it kind of makes sense. We have a relatively new World vs. World potion, and the PvP potions also looks newer now too. I like the look of it, so new icon for that. As for matches in general, they've also added an end screen, a special end screen for winners in a ranked match. If you happen to win in a ranked match, your character and your teammates' characters will stand on top of a pedestal, and you can then dance or bow or wave or make some emotes. You should see some footage on screen. If you're not seeing it right now, you probably will see it later in the video, or it might have passed already. But I know I recorded some footage of that. it's nothing really special or huge. I really wish they would have done something like Overwatch does or League of Legends does, where you can actually honor people, or you can vote on a specific player. I thought that would be coming, especially since recently League of Legends has implemented a new honor system, and Overwatch has always had the upvoting of different players. I would have expected Guild Wars 2 to hop on that train and also add a similar feature, but perhaps we'll get that in a future release. So far, there's a new end screen. You can show off your character on the end screen, do some animations. So it's a nice step in the right direction. So it's good to see that they're constantly innovating and adding new things to the PvP matches. Then we also got a new map. It's called the Hall of Mists. This is a 2v2 map. Now I have a bit of footage on the screen. I wasn't able to enter the map in its entirety, mainly because I didn't have someone else to play the match with me, and they won't let you enter the map in its entirety if you don't have another person. You're basically stuck behind a gate. But you should see most of the map. It's a very small map. There's about a staircase or two on the sides, and other than that, it's just a straight little hallway where you would fight 2v2. I think it's a great map for the amount of players it can hold. Funnily enough, though, you can fit up to 25 people into that arena if you have it as a custom arena. I saw that they were out of 25 players, so you could fit 25 players in the map and have a huge, giant team deathmatch with 12, 13 people on each team. That small little map. It's even smaller than the free-for-all brawl that's in the Heart of the Mists. So pretty interesting to see if anything's gonna happen with that map. It looks like a really cool map, but I couldn't really get the full experience from it because I didn't have someone else to verse me. One interesting thing that I did see and I did read is that they're apparently disabling sneaking and healing when it's overtime, and a deadly fog will come out, which will basically damage you over time. And I'm guessing they're doing this because they don't want players to just constantly heal or constantly avoid fighting and run away and stealth themselves because they get 1 or 2 kills and they're ahead. Then they can just, you know, camp at their base or camp somewhere and run in circles to avoid fighting, and they automatically win. And the only reason why I'm guessing that is because of the Courtyard changes that they made as well, which I'll go over in just a second. Speaking about custom arenas, they've also changed the way that game mode selections work. Now in custom arenas, you can select a game mode. So if you don't want Stronghold in your custom arenas, you can actually only select Conquest, and you'll only get Conquest maps. Now for Courtyard, like I just said, they also changed some things in Courtyard. Once again, this is only for customs, but seeing that they're adding things to it, maybe we'll get Courtyard back into the unranked queue, maybe even. I'm not sure, but for Courtyard, they did add a new secondary objective. At the center of the map, there's an altar with an orb, very similar to Spirit Watch, and if you happen to pick the orb up, your team will gradually gain points to your score. However, the orb does do damage to you. If you're near the center of the map, it does more damage to you. So as you can see, they're trying to make players meet at the center of the map. They're trying to force fights to happen, and they're trying to not promote the fact that you can just run away from people and avoid fights. They want you to fight people. They want you to, actually play PvP. That's what PvP is about. So that's definitely a theme that I'm seeing with these two maps. The new map that we got, they're enforcing that you actually fight, and they're enforcing it in Courtyard now too, and with good reason, because in the past, people in Courtyard would just, have one good team fight, and then they would run away and avoid fighting so they can basically win the match easily. Now on to automated tournaments. As far as those go, as we know already, there's going to be 3 daily automated tournaments at different times that you can join, and there's going to be 1 monthly tournament. Now, we didn't really get too many specifics from last video on the rewards. However, on screen you should see a quick little overview of the rewards that you're getting. The dailies give mystic coins and dies and gold. The gold ranges between 1 to 5 gold, which is pretty good, especially if you happen to get among the top players within the daily tournament. You can get a decent amount of gold there. Along with the gold, you'll also get qualifying points between 5 to 50 of those, and those are obviously used to get a place in the monthly automated tournament. You need 100 qualifying points to enter the monthly tournament, so if you happen to get first, you'll get 50 qualifying points for the dailies, and it goes all the way down to 5 qualifying points. So if you manage to get 100, you can join the monthly tournament. Seems like it won't be too difficult as long as you maybe win a few of them, or you get in the top places a few times. You'll be able to make it, because those players who win first place on 2 daily tournaments, they already have enough, so it only takes them really 1 day to get enough qualifying points. So it shouldn't be too difficult. Then again, I haven't tried it yet, so I'll have to see for myself. But the really cool part is the monthly tournament. And the reason why is because the amount of gold that they are giving is massive. And the amount of mystic coins they're giving is massive too. Now, like I say, you need 100 qualifying points to enter the monthly tournament, but the rewards are pretty good. You can get ascended gear, you can get a new title, you can get passes to enter the Champion's Rest area, which has all the services and everything you could possibly need. They're giving mystic coins away, and these mystic coins, you can get up to 100 mystic coins. That's 100 gold there, assuming that the prices won't decrease too much. But the real amazing part is the gold that you are getting. First place gets 500 gold, and if you happen to get lower than first place, I believe even second through fifth place is still getting like 300 or 400 gold. So even if you don't win first place, you can still get a good amount of gold from the monthly tournaments. I think the lowest I saw was 25 gold. So pretty rewarding to enter the monthly tournaments, and it's definitely something that I'm going to try to aim for, and you should probably try to aim for too, because not only are they part of the dailies, not only do they help you get better at PvP, but they also give you a bunch of rewards, such as ascended gear, such as the dyes, the mystic coins, and then this huge amount of gold right on top of it. It makes this a pretty rewarding game type to participate in. And of course, if you happen to win first place in the monthly tournament, your team will get statues based on their characters, and those will be placed in the entrance of the Heart of the Mists. Now, the only thing that you do need to be aware about is that these tournaments require 5 people, so you need to have a party of 5. You cannot just enter the automated tournaments alone. You can't do it with an extra person or 2. You need to have 5 people, and it'll be a team versus team queue. It seems like they are not going to be bringing back team queuing in the seasons, because the new season started now and we still only have queuing for 1 to 2 people. So it seems like team queuing is now going to be for automated tournaments only. At least that's my guess from it. So I think that's a fairly good change, and that's the only caveat there, that you have to have a 5-player team. If you don't have one, then there is a new section in looking for group. So if you want to use the LFG, you can, but obviously that doesn't guarantee you a very good team. You'll probably just get random people that you may not even know. So those are all the major PvP changes. There were a few World vs. World changes and updates, primarily though nothing too huge. The 2 big ones that I saw was that simple nameplates have been added to your options menu. This will basically change enemies into triangle icons, and your allies will remain as circle icons, which should be helpful. And they've changed the matchmaking from Glico, which was the old matchmaking style. They changed it now to something called 1 up, 1 down. If you want more details on that, check the patch notes out. They talk about it in like a paragraph or 2, explaining the difference. And lastly, for the gem store, they now have a new Godslayer bow, and they have new Germag dyes. And these are cool. Why? Because it includes the brightest white dye in the game. A new brightest white dye. Ever since this patch, Celestial dye was the whitest white that you can get, the brightest one. It costed tons of gold just because it was the brightest white. Well, now Permafrost is the new brightest white, and you can only get it from the gem store in this dye pack. I'm pretty sure you can sell it on trading posts, so that's probably super expensive now too. But if you're looking for new dyes, that's the new dye pack to get, the Germag dye pack. That's pretty much it. Those are all the updates we have. Those are all the gem store updates, World vs. World updates, and PvP updates. No raid updates. There was a small fractal bug fix, but nothing too crazy. I guess all of that and the expansion of the bank tab is all going to be coming sometime in July, which my guess is when the Living World Season 3 Episode 6 is coming. And I'm guessing that's going to be in about a month. I'm guessing we're going to get it around July 20th or so. So hopefully we'll see that coming. Excited for that. We'll probably get a trailer in about 2 weeks. So we'll wait for those news to drop by. If you liked the video, go and leave a like. Any comments, suggestions, want to talk about anything, discuss anything that you like in today's patch, you can go and leave a comment down below. I have not explored the PvP map too much. I have went to each island. I did hear that there is a secret Asura portal underneath the map somewhere. And I also saw that there's a new cat as well in the map, so if you like collecting cats, there's a new one there. There's bound to be some more secrets in the map as well. I haven't uncovered them all yet, but if you have, leave a comment down below. I'll be curious to see what you found. And make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Plenty of other Guild Wars 2 videos coming soon. If you want to check out my most recent video, click the annotation here. Want to check out a similar video to this one, click the annotation here. Want to subscribe to my other YouTube channels, click the annotation here. And if you want to donate $1 to my Patreon page, you can click the annotation here. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching as always. This is GSmaniamsmart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.